wanted to hop on here because I wanted to talk about failure, right? Because failure, and whatever your definition is something that happens to every single person. I literally fail every single day in multiple parts of my life, right? And that's what it is to be human. That's what it is to go out and try things, to do things new, to grow, to learn, to evolve, and then to continue to create, right? To continue to create success and impact and growth and all of the things, right? That I value and what you value. And so I just finished a podcast series around self love and failure, right? And how failure is an invitation for a deeper sense of self love. And I wanted to come on and talk about something that has been could have been a failure, right? And I looked at it as a failure for like 12 hours, but then I decided that I'm going to choose something different, right? Because in every moment, we have a thought, right? Positive, negative, neutral, right? And then we probably have a less positive thought at the same time, right? So we have a positive thought and a less positive thought at the same time. And you get to decide which one you choose, which one that you invest your energy into, your focus into, because wherever our energy goes, that's where it grows, right? That area, that thought, that idea, that whatever it is, right? So recently I've been doing a lot of workshops for organizations, for nonprofits, for schools, and they keep coming in, keep coming in, keep coming in, right? And so I'm doing these on a weekly, right, and sometimes multiple times a week basis, which has been amazing and exciting. And recently, I raised my prices as a speaker to come in and facilitate workshops. And they didn't know that, right? And so when I told them, like, hey, this is my new price, their response was, "Oh my gosh, okay, we didn't know that. This is what we can do now." And they had to lower the number of workshops, right? Immediately, my human mind went to, I'm not good enough, right? I can't raise my prices. I'm not worth that, right? The worthiness coach. Like, I'm saying this to myself. And then I realized, okay, I got it out. I vented. I held myself. I held myself in my shame. I held myself in my disappointment. I held myself in my frustration, right? I held myself at a low point because I have learned to love myself through the entire process, right? Not just when I get things, right? Not just in celebration, not just when I achieve things, right? But also loving myself through the process, loving myself through the journey. And so I decided that, okay, I'm doing things different now, right? I'm loving myself more deeply as I change, as I evolve, as I grow, as I up level in my life, as I'm serving more people. So I'm going to hold myself. I'm going to take extra care of myself. I'm going to be extra kind to myself. And what else could this mean? Right. And so I changed my thinking on it. I no longer saw it as a failure, right? I no longer took it personally. I said, I get to show up and I get to serve. I get to show up for myself. I get to show up for them. And I changed my narrative around the situation. Then I went and did the workshop and it went unbelievably well. It went so well that they were like, wait a second, we actually want you for more than what we originally wanted you for. At your new price, we want you for even more. And that was because I wasn't thinking, am I enough? We're going to have the love, or the guy is never going to show up, or I'm never going to have that body. I'm never going to get the opportunity. I'm never going to have the experience of wealth and abundance and impact and all of the things, right? When we tell ourselves that story, that is the energy in which we show up, because our thoughts are the driving factor. Our thoughts are the driving factor. So if we want to create a new result in our life, right? And with this example of my life, if I wanted to create a new result of, I have even more paid speaking gigs, right? I serve more people at this new price. And I show up as this is who I am. This doesn't mean anything about me. Their story is not my story. I'm here to show up and serve. Then guess what? That's the result I wanted is exactly what I created because I showed up regardless, not doubting myself, but uplifting myself, turning the inner critic into the inner hype woman. And so I wanted to share this story because I think that it's something that I personally have been working on so hard, showing up for myself in this inner work of even if things don't go as what I wanted them to, even if they didn't show up and I didn't create what I had hoped, what I had expected, right? My vision. It doesn't have to mean anything about me. It doesn't have to mean anything about you, right? If your body doesn't look a certain way, you haven't gotten the job or the promotion, right? You don't have the relationship that you want. You don't have the relationship with self that you want. Whatever your thing is, I invite you to look at your thinking. And how can switching your narrative, looking at the thoughts of, I have multiple thoughts I can choose from, I have multiple things that I can tell myself. What else could be true if you chose something different? If you tried something that you don't normally try, if you decided that you're not going to go down the same rabbit hole that you normally do, how would your life change? How would your experience of your life change? And what new outcomes could be created in your life? To me, this is literally life changing. Just because you have always done something one way, just because you've always thought one way, doesn't mean that you always have to, right? It doesn't mean that that's your future. That doesn't mean that that is how you need to do in this moment. That is not a good enough excuse because I've always done it this way. That is not a good enough excuse, right? Because you get to change it. You are in charge of one thing, and that is your mind. So I invite you to see it differently. I invite you to see what else could be true, right? And see what this does in your life. If you saw failure in a new way, if you didn't believe in failure, right? If you supported yourself in a new way with your thinking, what would happen in your life? Share this with someone who needs it, tag someone who needs it, right? This is super important and it's life changing, and everyone is worthy of listening. All right, go take it, run with it, have an amazing rest of your day.